वेलकम एंड वेलकम बैक टू आवर यूट्यूब चैनल। आज हम लोग 2024 स्लॉट 3 का लास्ट सेट सॉल्व करने जा रहे हैं, तो देखते हैं क्या कहता है आज का हमारा क्वेश्चन। आउट ऑफ 10 कंट्रीज, कंट्री 1 थ्रू कंट्री 10, country 9 has the highest gross domestic product and country 10 has the highest GDP per capita. GDP per capita is the GDP of a country divided by its population. Okay, so GDP per capita equals to GDP divided by the population. Okay. So this table provides the data of country 1 through country 8 for year 2024. Now, column 1 gives us the country's identity, like country 1, country 2 and so on. Column 2 gives us the country's GDP as a fraction of the GDP of country 9. Column 3 gives us the country's GDP per capita as a fraction of the GDP per capita of country 10. Column 4 gives us the country's annual GDP growth rate and column 5 gives us the population growth rate. Okay. Now, which one among the countries 1 through 8 has the smallest population in 2028? Now, if GDP per capita equals to GDP upon the population, so from this I can find the population of the countries in year 2024. Okay, so population is equals to GDP of that country upon the GDP per capita. Okay, now we'll go through the options. Okay, we'll not solve for every country. So for country 3, I'm writing C3 here. So for country 3, the GDP is 0.13 and the GDP per capita is 0.02. This will ultimately give me 13/2. For country 5, it's 10/36. For country 8, it's 7/41. And for country 7, it's 8/30. Now we are asked the smallest population. Clearly from all the fractions we can see that C8, country 8 has the smallest population in 2024. So my option will be C. The ratio of the country 4's GDP to country 5's GDP in 2026 will be closest to. Okay. So we have been given the data of 2024 and we are asked for 2026. And we are asked about the comparison of countries 4's GDP to country 5's GDP. Okay. So the currently country 4's GDP is 0.12 and its growth rate after 2 years will be 1 plus 0.5, and for country 5 it will be okay. So if we solve this, so this will give me 1.031 approximately. So option A will be my answer. For how many countries among country 1 through country 8 will the GDP per capita in 2027 be lower than that in 2024? So we want that GDP per capita of 2027 should be lower than GDP per capita of 2024. Okay. Now GDP per capita 2027 will be equal to GDP of 2024 upon population of 2024 into GDP growth rate of 2024 upon population growth rate of 2024. I hope this is clear to you. It should be less than the GDP per capita of 2024. Okay. Now, this ultimately comes out to be the GDP per capita of 2024. Okay. As we have seen that GDP per capita is equals to GDP upon the population. So, this will get cancelled out with this one. So, we are left with GDP growth rate of 2024 should be less than the population growth rate of 2024. Now we have to find out the countries whose GDP growth rate is less than the population growth rate in year 2024. Now let's move to the chart again. We have to find the GDP growth rate. Which country's GDP growth rate is less than the population growth rate? It's greater than. So we can see that every country has a GDP growth rate greater than the population growth rate. You can see here, 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 any of the country. So there are zero countries where GDP growth rate is less than the population growth rate. So my answer would be 0. I hope this part is clear to you. Okay. So we have solved the last set of year 2024 and I hope you liked my explanation. Do like, share and subscribe and stay tuned for year 2023. Thank you.